cope, cope, barren, barren, astonishing, astonishing, frugal, frugal, warrant, warrant, dialect, dialect, satire, satire, satirical, satirical, genuine, genuine, genuinely, genuinely, undergo, undergo, modify, modify, misery, misery, miserable, miserable, grin, grin, mischievous, mischievous, mischief, mischief, mischievously, mischievously, stain, stain, stainless, stainless, foster, foster, carve, carve,
animate, animate,
animation, animation, inanimate, inanimate, vague, vague,
elaborate, elaborate,
dwell, dwell, miser, miser, miserly, miserly, dismal, dismal, twilight, twilight, idle, idle, idolize, idolize,
lead, lead,
flee, flee, alter, alter,
alterable, alterable,
unalterable, unalterable, implore, implore, impose, impose, imposition, imposition, impulse, impulse, impulsive, impulsive, imprison, imprison,
implement, implement,
absorbing, absorbing, absorb, absorb, absorption, absorption, absurd, absurd, absurdity, absurdity, absurdly, absurdly,
A cope of night. A cope of night. Cope with the task. Cope with the task. Cope with disaster. Cope with disaster. Cope with the situation. Cope with the situation. A barren desert. A barren desert. Barren soil. Barren soil. A barren woman. A barren woman. A barren landscape. A barren landscape. A barren flower. A barren flower. A barren writer. A barren writer. Barren of creative spirit. Barren of creative spirit. This barren world. This barren world. An astonishing fact. An astonishing fact. An astonishing career. An astonishing career. An astonishing event. An astonishing event. A frugal existence. A frugal existence. Lead a frugal life. Lead a frugal life. A frugal housewife. A frugal housewife. Frugal living. Frugal living. A frugal meal. A frugal meal. Death warrant. Death warrant. An arrest warrant. An arrest warrant. A search warrant. A search warrant. A warrant of attachment. A warrant of attachment. Warrant quality. Warrant quality. The Yorkshire dialect. The Yorkshire dialect. A broad dialect. A broad dialect. A local dialect. A local dialect. Speak in dialect. Speak in dialect. A regional dialect. A regional dialect. A standard dialect. A standard dialect. Political satire. Political satire. A social satire. A social satire. A scathing satire. A scathing satire. A satire on society. A satire on society. A satirical magazine. A satirical magazine. Draw a satirical cartoon. Draw a satirical cartoon. A satirical smile. A satirical smile. Genuine courage. Genuine courage. A genuine case. A genuine case. A genuine signature. A genuine signature. A very genuine person. A very genuine person. A genuine Celtic people. A genuine Celtic people. A bulldog of a genuine breed. A bulldog of a genuine breed. A genuine skeptic. A genuine skeptic.
A genuine friend. A genuine friend. Genuinely home produced. Genuinely home produced. Undergo harsh hazing. Undergo harsh hazing. Undergo ratification. Undergo ratification. Undergo major surgery. Undergo major surgery. Undergo trial and error. Undergo trial and error. Undergo a rapid change. Undergo a rapid change. Undergo an experience. Undergo an experience. Modify a sentence. Modify a sentence. Modify a design. Modify a design. Modify one's ideas. Modify one's ideas. Modify demands. Modify demands. Modify a contract. Modify a contract. Modify a condition. Modify a condition. Die in misery. Die in misery. The miseries of unemployment. The miseries of unemployment. Miseries of mankind. Miseries of mankind. The misery of the slums. The misery of the slums. Share misery. Share misery. A miserable meal. A miserable meal. Look miserable. Look miserable. Miserable sinners. Miserable sinners. A miserable life. A miserable life. The evil grin. The evil grin. A cheeky grin. A cheeky grin. A wolfish grin. A wolfish grin. To grin evilly. To grin evilly. Have a wicked grin. Have a wicked grin. Have a wicked smile. Have a wicked smile. Make a mischievous face. Make a mischievous face. A mischievous child. A mischievous child. A mischievous boy. A mischievous boy. mischievous gossip, mischievous gossip, a mischievous influence, a mischievous influence, make mischief, make mischief, mischief making, mischief making, go into mischief, go into mischief, get into mischief, get into mischief, mean mischief, mean mischief, smile mischievously, smile mischievously, make a mischievous face, make a mischievous face, remove stain, remove stain, an obstinate stain, an obstinate stain, a mud stain, a mud stain,
To stain wood. To stain wood. Stain one's name. Stain one's name. Guilt stained. Guilt stained. A stain of grease. A stain of grease. A coffee stain. A coffee stain. Stainless steel. Stainless steel. Foster son. Foster son. Foster care. Foster care. Foster home. Foster home. A foster mother. A foster mother. A foster family. A foster family. A foster parents. A foster parents. A foster child. A foster child. Foster a child. Foster a child. Foster the sick. Foster the sick. Foster trade. Foster trade. Foster creativity. Foster creativity. Foster a hope. Foster a hope. Foster evil thoughts. Foster evil thoughts. Foster exports. Foster exports. Carve out a fortune. Carve out a fortune. A carved doorway. A carved doorway. Carve marble into a statue. Carve marble into a statue. Carve a chicken. Carve a chicken. Carve out a career. Carve out a career. Animate beings. Animate beings. Animate nature. Animate nature. Things animate and inanimate. Things animate and inanimate. Suspended animation. Suspended animation. Animation cartoonist. Animation cartoonist. A face devoid of animation. A face devoid of animation. Talk with animation. Talk with animation. Inanimate matter. Inanimate matter. An inanimate body. An inanimate body. An inanimate market. An inanimate market. Inanimate conversation. Inanimate conversation. A vague stare. A vague stare. Make a vague answer. Make a vague answer. Yield to vague terrors. Yield to vague terrors. A vague attitude. A vague attitude. A vague moonlight. A vague moonlight. Elaborate designs. Elaborate designs. An elaborate work. An elaborate work. Elaborate upon a plan. Elaborate upon a plan. Elaborate on an idea. Elaborate on an idea. Elaborate upon an idea. Elaborate upon an idea. Elaborate a system of logic. Elaborate a system of logic. Dwell remote. Dwell remote. Dwell in the country. Dwell in the country. Dwell in a cave. Dwell in a cave. Dwell on a question. Dwell on a question. A nasty miser. A nasty miser. An awful miser. An awful miser. A dismal look. A dismal look. Dismal surroundings. Dismal surroundings. A dismal mood. A dismal mood. A dismal scene. A dismal scene. Dismal prospects. Dismal prospects. Twilight zone. Twilight zone. Twilight sleep. Twilight sleep. The twilight years. The twilight years. In the twilight. In the twilight.
evening twilight, evening twilight, twilight hour, twilight hour, a twilight bat, a twilight bat, a pop idol, a pop idol, a fallen idol, a fallen idol, a popular idol, a popular idol, a national idol, a national idol, worship an idol, worship an idol, idol worship, idol worship, a pop star idolized by millions of fans, a pop star idolized by millions of fans, plead not guilty, plead not guilty, plead one's cause, plead one's cause, pleading eyes, pleading eyes, to plead self-defense, to plead self-defense, beg and plead, beg and plead, a plea of guilty, a plea of guilty, make a plea for mercy, make a plea for mercy, a foreign plea, a foreign plea, a sham plea, a sham plea, to enter a guilty plea, to enter a guilty plea, deny a plea, deny a plea, hold a plea, hold a plea, alter one's plans, alter one's plans, alter the cast, alter the cast, alter a house, alter a house, alter clothes, alter clothes, alterable memory, alterable memory, the unalterable laws of the universe, the unalterable laws of the universe, confess an inalterable belief, confess an inalterable belief, implore aid, implore aid, implore forgiveness, implore forgiveness, implore a judge for mercy, implore a judge for mercy, impose a duty, impose a duty, impose a curfew, impose a curfew, impose upon a person's kindness, impose upon a person's kindness, impose trade pressure, impose trade pressure, impose legal controls, impose legal controls, the imposition of martial law, the imposition of martial law, an imposition on imports, an imposition on imports, imposition of taxes at source, imposition of taxes at source, decide on impulse, decide on impulse, act on impulse, act on impulse, act from impulse, act from impulse, electrical impulses, electrical impulses,
A man of impulse. A man of impulse. The impulse of curiosity. The impulse of curiosity. The impulse of a wave. The impulse of a wave. A momentary impulse. A momentary impulse. A generous impulse. A generous impulse. Make an impulsive decision. Make an impulsive decision. Impulsive forces. Impulsive forces. An impulsive decision. An impulsive decision. An impulsive act. An impulsive act. Imprison a criminal. Imprison a criminal. Implement a strategy. Implement a strategy. Implement a policy. Implement a policy. To implement reforms. To implement reforms. Implement an engagement. Implement an engagement. Agricultural implements. Agricultural implements. An absorbing book. An absorbing book. An absorbing film. An absorbing film. Absorb shock. Absorb shock. A shock absorbing device. A shock absorbing device. Absorb knowledge. Absorb knowledge. Absorb sugar. Absorb sugar. Take in sugar. Take in sugar. Self-absorption. Self-absorption. Absorption of light. Absorption of light. The absorption of smaller tribes. The absorption of smaller tribes. Absorption in one's studies. Absorption in one's studies. An absurd story. An absurd story. An absurd idea. An absurd idea. An absurd remark. An absurd remark. Say absurd things. Say absurd things. Sink into absurdity. Sink into absurdity. Share absurdity. Share absurdity. A rank absurdity. A rank absurdity. Absurdly incorrect. Absurdly incorrect.